Today, we're diving into a highly relevant topic that has captured the attention of many: Donald Trump's strategy regarding America's involvement in Ukraine. With the ongoing conflict and the upcoming presidential election, the implications of his proposed approach could significantly impact not only Ukraine, but also U.S. foreign policy and global stability. So grab a seat and let's explore what Trump's plan means for the future of Ukraine and international relations. The ongoing conflict in Ukraine has emerged as one of the most significant geopolitical crises of the 21st century, drawing the attention of world leaders and impacting international relations on multiple fronts. Since Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the subsequent full-scale invasion in 2022, the United States has played a critical role in supporting Ukraine. This support has been characterized by military aid, financial assistance, and strong diplomatic backing. However, as the 2024 presidential election approaches, former President Donald Trump has suggested a controversial strategy that involves ending America's involvement in Ukraine. This article explores the implications of such a strategy, examining its potential consequences for Ukraine, the United States, and the broader global order. Historical context: U.S. involvement in Ukraine. To fully understand the ramifications of Trump's proposed strategy, it is important to examine the historical context of U.S. involvement in Ukraine. After Ukraine gained independence from the Soviet Union in 1991, the U.S. recognized its sovereignty and territorial integrity. However, relations became strained following Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, which the international community condemned as a violation of international law. In response to Russia's aggressive actions, the U.S. began providing military assistance and financial aid to Ukraine, supporting the country's fight for independence and stability. The Biden administration has significantly increased this support, providing billions of dollars in military aid, including advanced weaponry and training, as well as economic assistance to help stabilize Ukraine's economy during the conflict. This support is rooted in the belief that a strong and independent Ukraine is essential for European security and serves as a countermeasure to Russian expansionism. The U.S. also coordinated efforts with NATO allies to impose sanctions on Russia, aiming to pressure Moscow to cease its aggressive actions. Trump's foreign policy approach. Donald Trump's foreign policy has been characterized by an America First mentality, emphasizing a reduction in U.S. involvement in international conflicts that do not serve direct national interests. Throughout his presidency, Trump frequently questioned the value of long-standing alliances, including NATO, and often called for a reevaluation of U.S. commitments abroad. His approach to Ukraine reflects a broader skepticism about U.S. military engagement and a desire to redirect focus back to domestic issues. In speeches and public statements, Trump has voiced concerns over the significant resources allocated by the U.S. to foreign conflicts, arguing that these funds could be better spent addressing pressing domestic needs. This perspective resonates with a significant portion of the electorate, particularly those who believe that U.S. foreign interventions often come at the expense of addressing urgent issues at home, such as healthcare, infrastructure, and job creation. For many of Trump's supporters, the idea of ending U.S. involvement in Ukraine is appealing, as it aligns with their desire for a more isolationist foreign policy. Key elements of Trump's proposed strategy. If Trump were to pursue a strategy aimed at withdrawing U.S. involvement in Ukraine, it would likely include several significant elements. One of the most crucial changes would be a substantial reduction in military aid. Trump's administration would probably seek to cut or significantly diminish the support that has been critical for Ukraine's defense against Russian forces. This could involve halting the shipment of advanced weapon systems, logistical support, and training that have played a vital role in bolstering Ukraine's military capabilities. Additionally, a withdrawal from Ukraine would likely lead to a dramatic shift in diplomatic relations. Trump might advocate for renewed negotiations with Russia, urging Ukraine to make concessions in exchange for peace. This diplomatic approach raises serious concerns about the potential for Russia to solidify its territorial gains and further encroach upon Ukraine's sovereignty. Such negotiations could undermine the efforts of the Ukrainian government to maintain its territorial integrity and independence, leading to a situation where Ukraine may have to sacrifice key interests for a fragile peace. A pullback from Ukraine would also likely coincide with a reassessment of U.S. commitments to NATO and other alliances. Trump has historically criticized NATO members for not contributing enough to their defense, and a shift in U.S. policy toward Ukraine could signal to NATO allies that the U.S. is less committed to collective defense. This potential retraction of support may lead to increased uncertainty among Eastern European allies who rely on the U.S. as a counterbalance to Russian aggression. Implications for Ukraine. The implications of Trump's proposed strategy for Ukraine could be profound and multifaceted. Without U.S. military support, Ukraine would likely become increasingly vulnerable to Russian aggression. The reduction of military aid would severely hinder Ukraine's ability to defend itself effectively against a well-equipped Russian military. Moreover, the withdrawal of U.S. support could lead to significant economic ramifications for Ukraine. The country has relied heavily on American financial assistance to stabilize its economy during the ongoing conflict. A cessation of this support could exacerbate existing economic challenges, leading to increased inflation, rising unemployment, and further instability. The loss of U.S. backing might also undermine the legitimacy of the Ukrainian government, emboldening pro-Russian factions within the country and potentially leading to internal strife. Beyond immediate military and economic concerns, a U.S. withdrawal could have lasting political consequences for Ukraine. It could diminish the Ukrainian government's resolve to resist external pressures, as the absence of a strong U.S. ally may lead to a sense of isolation. The potential for increased internal divisions within Ukraine could further complicate efforts to maintain national unity and cohesion in the face of external threats. Impact on U.S. foreign policy and global stability. Trump's potential withdrawal from Ukraine would not only have dire implications for the immediate situation, but could also reshape U.S. foreign policy and global stability. A U.S. exit from Ukraine could send a signal of weakness to Russia, emboldening President Vladimir Putin to pursue more aggressive actions beyond Ukraine's borders. Such a move could encourage Russia to attempt further territorial expansion in neighboring countries, raising concerns among nations with historical ties to the Soviet Union. China is closely monitoring the situation in Ukraine, particularly as it relates to its interests in Taiwan. A U.S. withdrawal from Ukraine could embolden China to adopt a more assertive posture in the Asia-Pacific region, believing that the U.S. is less willing to engage militarily in conflicts abroad. The possibility of simultaneous crises in Eastern Europe and the Asia-Pacific could stretch U.S. resources and attention thin, complicating the ability to respond effectively to multiple threats. Domestic political reaction. Domestically, Trump's strategy to withdraw from Ukraine would likely generate a mixed reaction among the American public and political leaders. Within his base, particularly among isolationist supporters, there may be substantial enthusiasm for a reduction in U.S. involvement in Ukraine. Many of these individuals advocate for prioritizing U.S. Thanks for joining us as we unpack the complexities of Trump's strategy on Ukraine. What are your thoughts on his approach? Do you think it could lead to a more stable world or create further challenges? We'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more insights into the latest political developments. Until next time, stay informed and engaged.